Ew, sour curvy, bro. Sour,
Man.
I'm gonna pop out, though.
Let me see, come closer. Let me see the back of it.
I mean, long live God. Long live God.
Show your face. Show your face, please, with sugar on top.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you check us out on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Hookah Anonymous _. You guys been telling us to create one for the longest, so we recently created a community where we will upload videos that we can't share on YouTube due to their guidelines. We'll also be dropping the latest to there first, behind the scenes information that you wouldn't find anywhere else on our socials. So make sure you become a member, and after you do that, head over to our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _ and follow us there. Now without further ado, let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, many of you already know that Philly drill rapper YBC Dul had been shot and unalived this past Friday on August 23rd, 2024. Of course, it was a big thing, being that YBC Dul was very much involved in the Philly drill scene, which included a very similar component to Chicago, which entails you having to dish your ops as well as your deceased ones. The problem with the drill culture is, in order for it to thrive, crime has to be committed. The whole point of drill music is to basically clown or troll your ops and make music based on true events that transpired, where one gang may have done something to the next. But once again, in order for you to have anything to say, you actually have to do something. This usually involves taking someone's life, shooting at somebody, or just causing harm, and then trolling about it in music or on social media. YBC Dul became the face of that in Philly when one of his ops would pass away, whether he had something to do with it or not. Dul literally gained the nickname Mr. Disrespectful from his fans, and it wasn't just a name that he gave himself like most people would do. Dul got his name from being exactly that, disrespectful and trolling his ops in the most disrespectful way possible. Dul went viral just a few months ago for allegedly going to one of his ops' gravesite and dug up dirt calling his name as if he was digging him up and mocked his passing. In another song called McButtons and McNuggets, he would troll one of his ops by the name of Sonic Goon by mentioning his brother's passing in the song due to his brother who was shot and unalived while he was getting something to eat at McDonald's. Whether Dul had something to do with it or not is another story, but he made sure that he trolled him by making a whole song based on the unfortunate passing. So with all that being said, it's no wonder why every op that was into it with YBC Dul wouldn't miss the opportunity to troll him when the news would come out that he himself was shot and unalived in the north side of Philadelphia. It's been reported that at the time of the shooting, he was sitting in the back passenger seat of a white SUV located in the Albany area near the 5500 block of North 6th Street in broad daylight around 3:34 p.m. It hasn't been identified completely who Dul was with, but we do know that he wasn't by himself, which means that someone knows something, although not much information had been given by police. Now, when I first heard the news and heard about how everything was described, immediately I felt that something didn't make sense. Aside from me, YBC Dul's father apparently felt the same, because he would take to Dul's Facebook account and issue a message to his fans, making it clear that he feels YBC Dul was set up. I got a few reasons to believe something wasn't right myself, based on what we were told, but we're going to get into the message that Dul's father put out there first on why he believes Dul was set up, and then I'll get into why I feel something ain't adding up neither. Before we do that, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video into the algorithm, and if you're not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it. A message from YBC Dul's father will be posted from Dul's Facebook account, as the statement will read, quote, "Hey all of my son friends and family, etc. I am Dul's father. I was handed over all my baby boy's belongings this morning by his close friends. I wanted to clear up any confusion. My son Abdul Vix was unalived yesterday afternoon broad daylight while sitting in the back of his car alongside with his friends who was also shot in the hand. My son was not on the bike when he was unalived, nothing of that such. So that video going around is not him. Stop the false news. I know my son did not live a life of a saint, but I was not born yesterday either. My son was targeted in some setup plot. That's the only way they could get him from up close like that, and I'm standing on that. For someone to be able to walk up so close to his car was the first red flag for sure, and I promise we not gonna stop till y'all dudes are exposed. I spoke to my son the night before this all went down, and I just couldn't understand why this talk out of all days felt different. Pops has been weird. Cars passing by me for a week now. I don't know. I just feel weird whenever I'm in Philly. I swear whatever you was running from, son, they was watching you closely, and I'm gonna expose it. Man, I can't believe it. I won't ever want to believe this, and I ain't ever gonna shut up because I wanted you to beat the odds, son. I told you the streets a nasty game, especially where we come from. Now I have to bury my junior. My family and I would like to thank everyone for the love and kind messages sent out to my boy. He lost a real one. May Allah forgive him for all his sins and make his grave spacious, full of light. Ameen, inshallah, and rest easy, my son Abdul Qadar Vicks. My heart will forever have a black hole in it after this one. Parents, save your kids from this life before it's too late, because I can't even explain this feeling right now. Now, before we continue, I would like to say I respect his perspective. Most parents will get on social media and beg for sympathy as if their child wasn't in the streets. It seemed like he knows his son wasn't perfect and know he was out here living a life of crime. However, he says that he spoke to his son and made him aware of the streets and the consequences of his actions. At the end of the day, it's but so much as a parent that you could do when your child is grown enough to make their own decisions. The only thing you could do is try to guide them and give them a few words of wisdom in hopes of them listening. But if not, all you can say is that at least you did your part and tried. It sounds like his father accepted that his son wasn't a saint, and he's not asking for sympathy, but he is acknowledging that he feels his son was set up by someone close enough to him that can do so. Now, I always tell y'all, none of these guys in the street partaking in that lifestyle deserve sympathy. But it's one thing to lose your life to the streets, and it's another thing to lose your life due to somebody setting you up or backdooring you because you thought that you could trust the people around you when you couldn't. I personally feel those are two different things. However, let's point out a few things we found strange in Dul's demise, and I want y'all to let us know what y'all think about it. Now, for his father to come out and say something like that, there's definitely a reason he may feel the way that he does. Whatever conversations he had with his son or know how his son was before passing, this is what made him think the way he's thinking. This isn't just an outsider or a blogger trying to stir up controversy, it's his father. Now, this father stated that Dul said he felt weird being in Philly recently and pointed out that a lot of weird cars been passing him. I want y'all to understand that when he said he feel weird, it's deeper than just having beef. Dul was already well aware that he was a target and well aware of the beef he had in the city forever. So I think it's deeper than just drama and beef. For him to say he feels weird and that it's cars passing him that's weird, I think he may have felt that he was being plotted against, but he just didn't know what he was feeling. Sometimes our intuition be trying to tell us something and we may just think it's a coincidence or something, but when you get a gut feeling that something isn't right, that's usually your intuition trying to warn you about something. But once again, for his father to say he feels like he was set up, that says a lot opposed to just a regular blogger or other person saying it, but y'all call him a conspiracy theorist. If y'all been tuned into this platform long enough, y'all know one of the things I always say is a red flag is whenever these rappers lose their lives and it's almost like little to no information that's been released when the situation is being reported. Now they claim that somebody else was shot as well, but why wasn't their information released also? In this situation, if you realize, the only thing we've been told is Dul was shot, he was on the highway, he was taken to the hospital, and then he was pronounced deceased. They didn't tell us who else was there. They didn't tell us their names. It wasn't specified at first whether he was a driver or not until later. There's been no video surveillance at all, no cell phone footage, no one captured. It's like something just ain't right. And I know y'all love saying, Hookah, everything ain't a conspiracy theory. And y'all right. But on the flip side of that, we also know that everything ain't what it seems to be neither. We haven't got a description of the car that the suspects or suspect were in. We haven't been told how they managed to target the vehicle. Literally nothing. All we got was a video of the car that they say Dul was in and them telling us what happened. That's it. You know, something ain't adding up, man. Then on top of that, there's conflicting stories of what happened, leading us to believe that, like I said, something ain't right. One article posted to All Hip Hop would tell us, quote, the shooting took place in broad daylight around 3:34 p.m. on Friday in the Alney section of the city. Authorities responded to reports of gunfire near the 5500 block of North 6th Street. where YBC Dul was discovered suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. But other articles didn't say he was discovered by anybody. It's reported that the shooting actually took place on the highway, even though they didn't specify which one. But after the shooting took place, he was then transported to the Albert Einstein Medical Center by a private vehicle, where he was later pronounced deceased. So like I said, who transported him? Who was there in the car? How many of them was in the car? Not only that, but if he was shot from outside the vehicle on the side, why wasn't the driver's side hit as much as well? You know, it's almost like whoever shot the car knew where he would be positioned in that car. They knew what side to target, all that. Either his location was given up or they were followed and the suspects had knowledge of where he would be positioned in the vehicle. But I find it funny that he was in the back of the driver's seat as a passenger, and somehow whoever shot knew enough to know where exactly to shoot. That's something you'll only know if you're told, but then once again, why wasn't the driver's side lit up as well? Seems like they were specific with their shooting and knew exactly where to shoot. Keep in mind, we're also told that he was shot in his chest multiple times. Now, once again, how would that be possible if he was being shot from the side on the highway? Right? The only way that would make sense would be if someone walked up to the car and reached in the window and began firing. But even with that, like his father said, how were they able to get that close on the car without no one reacting? But being that he was shot multiple times in the chest, that would mean that he literally had his whole body like almost facing the window. I don't know. It doesn't make sense, man. Judging from how they said he was shot in his chest in hand, it's almost as if he was being shot and tried to defend himself by putting his hand up, and maybe that's how he was struck in his hand. I don't know. Now I want to show y'all a tweet that a user posted that, although it seemed a little far-fetched, it also serves as a possible theory because it's just a thought at the end of the day. One user will post and say, quote, YBC Dul was backdoored. Baby, Dul manager, was in the driver's seat. Diamond, YBC Dul girl, was in the back passenger seat. If you look, those are exit holes and not entrance holes on the passenger side, meaning whoever unalived YBC Dul was in the front passenger seat. Now, to be honest with you, when I first saw this post, I didn't pay it much mind. But once again, it is all just a thought from everybody's observation. However, when you do look at the bullet holes, they're protruding outward instead of inside. Here's a demonstration of how bullets look when they enter a car. Here's bullet holes on the car that they said YBC Dul was in. The difference is, it seemed like the holes are protruding outward instead of inside, like how it would look if you were shooting into a vehicle. Now, I'm not here to point fingers at anybody and say anybody did anything, because realistically, we just don't know. Could we possibly have another Y&W Melly situation where, you know, shots was allegedly fired from inside the car instead of outside the car? Who knows? At this point, everything is just from observation and hearsay. But what we do know, something is definitely a little fishy in the situation. Right now, it's too early to really come to any conclusions, honestly. But to me, the first red flag was the fact that these news reports didn't tell us much at all, except for YBC Dul is deceased. No shell cases, no specifics of where everything initially occurred, how it occurred, suspects, vehicles, footage, no nothing. And seeing what they told us, I don't know, man. Like I said, the fact that the father himself said something didn't seem right and he feels his son was set up, but y'all just can't say it's us or anybody making stuff up now being conspiracy theorists. But anyway, y'all jump in the comments, man. Let me know what y'all think about this. Do y'all think it was something fishy going on, or do y'all think that it was just his time and he got caught up? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'ma keep on dropping. And I'm out.